title of this video is Villains. Villains, villains everywhere. For every hero there must be a villain. I'm going to look quickly at some of the villains across the spectrum in terms of authors, reviewers, editors, publishers and audience. But I'm not going to be terribly specific. You can look up some of these details and find out who these people are and find out more details about them. I'm just going to give you a sense of the flavour of some of these villains in the hope that you'll have an awareness of them, you'll know what behaviour to avoid, but it's an interesting topic anyway. So let's start at the back this time. Well, this woman on the page is not an audience. She is known as the Robin Hood of science. She's responsible for a website that provides papers free of charge to audience. It's pulled a lot of papers out from behind paywalls. Lots of people send papers to this website and these papers are available. The publishing companies have launched court actions against this particular site. It's not hosted in Australia, and in the court they affirmed the critical role of copyright law in furthering scientific research and the public interest. And no doubt the publishers had some very good lawyers at their disposal in assisting the court to reach this ruling. Incidentally, because the website wasn't hosted in the country where this court case occurred, there were no criminal charges laid. So this person is regarded as a villain by some, but not by others. It is a grey world. So traditional subscription publishing is regarded as a bit of a villain. So it's publicly funded, the manuscript goes there, it's accepted, the copyright then zips over to the publisher, they stick it behind a paywall, and the actual work and the content gets out into the wild at an absolute snail's pace. And the pace is really slow, but the money is absolutely astronomical. In 2010, Elsevier posted a higher profit margin than Apple or Google. There's very few people that know that. In 2013, it raised to 40%. So traditional publishers, it's more 20 to 25%. Global revenues of more than $20 billion. It's absolutely staggering how much money there is in publishing. And because there's a lot of money in publishing, it's also attracted villains of its own. There are journals called predatory journals, publications pretending to be legitimate publications that are out there to take your money. There may be a number of factors which indicate those journals, but you need to be really careful where you submit your work. They may have a lot of indicators of legitimacy, but you really need to be careful because the aim of these journals is just to take your money. They don't care about whether your work's published or not, ultimately. There's a number of telltale signs of a predatory publisher that have been identified. These are some of the things to help you beware the sharks. I'm not going to go into these in detail, but definitely have a look at these and think about these and remember these. Okay, there are villains in terms of editors. Now, because of the impact factor having this 2-year window, editors are predisposed. There's a little bit of a conflict of interest for editors to cite papers from their journal in the last 2 years to raise their impact factor. They also have control over the reviewers because the reviewers are secret. And if they don't like the review, they may decide to ignore it. They also have the power of allocating the reviewers, so they can pick and choose what reviewers they like. So because that all happens behind closed doors, you can't know the extent to which this has been managed in a way that is really high quality. I certainly don't mean to paint all editors with a bad brush. I'm just saying that there is potential, and there have been examples of cases where things have not worked out in a way that you'd want a system to work. Now, there are problems with reviewers. Let's talk about some really brazen ones. So you submit a paper to me to review. I take your name off the paper, stick my name on the paper, and send it somewhere else. It's happened. How brazen is that? I've just literally rejected your work, stolen it, and sent it somewhere else. There are all types of conflict of interest for reviewers. They might have co-authored a publication with somebody else. This can happen in very small fields. They may be colleagues, they may be in the same department, they may be friends, they may be relatives, they may have a professional relationship. There's all kinds of things which can create a conflict of interest, and you need to be really careful when you're a reviewer that you don't have any conflict of interest. Or you may just have some bias against that particular person. You met them and you didn't like them, so you're just going to reject any of their work. You need to focus on the work, on the detail of the work, and take the personal aspects out of it. And that takes a bit of care. Finally, in terms of authors, well, these guys plagiarised. They're all professors. They're all fired. The one on the left is from Swinburne. The one in the middle is from University of Chicago. The one on the right is from Durham University in the UK. All professors are all let go. There are various ways that authors can trip up in the process. Some authors have even reviewed their own work. They've created fake email accounts, fake profiles, so that their work would be sent to them. One hallmark of a predatory journal is asking authors to submit their own reviewers, and this then allows the fake reviews to happen and the conflict of interest. There's all kinds of biases in the system which cause people to cheat, unfortunately. High impact factor, grants, promotion. Where is the value in that? These guys actually reached the top and then fell. Don't be like these guys.